hymns. Hymns would be songs which include scripture in them, teaching theological truths about God. We got hymns right here in the red books all over the place, okay? If you have a decent hymn, it will teach theological truths about God. One of my favorite of all of the hymns is Morning is Broken. And yes, Cat Stevens sang it, but it came right out of the hymnal. Somebody wrote it eons ago, and he used it, and he does the most beautiful version of it at all. And so I don't care if it's Cat Stevens and he converted to Islam, or it doesn't make any difference to me. It's a wonderful song, and it's right there, written by a person. If you read the words from it, it's all about the garden. It's about the life, the word, everything. It's just so beautiful. Those are hymns.
Hymns are about him.
What?
Hymns are about him.
Hymns are about him. That's very well done, Burke. You get a, let me give you a piece of candy. Right over there. You go get yourself a piece of candy. Okay. What's that? How great thou art. Absolutely. It's marvelous. And that's what they're there for. They're to edify us. They're to spiritually build us up and to teach us theological lessons. That's what a hymn is for. Yes, Burke?
The hymns, Fanny Crosby, she wrote hundreds
Oh,
of
yes.
hymns. Then the next one's going to be spiritual songs, and I think of the Gaithers.
We're not there yet, guys. He's preempting us. I know he loves the Gaithers. When he sends a commentary out, he's got something usually from the Gaithers attached to it. No, great stuff. I'm just picking on you, Burke.
It's all right.
Yeah, no, he's right. So hymns would be songs which include scripture in them, teaching theological truths about God. They are intended to lead us to a firm foundation in knowing and understanding his wonderful works. How great thou art, right? That's exactly what they are intended for. That is what a hymn is intended for. And then Burke, he just mentioned it. Spiritual songs would then be songs which are written about a relationship with God, but not necessarily relying on scripture, like the Gaithers. Like, there's a million people that write. Who wrote the most hymns? I think the most prolific hymn writer of all was Charles Wesley. That's correct. Not John, Charles Wesley, the brother. Anyway, he wrote gobs of them. What did he say about Isaac Watts' song, The Wonderful Cross? He said, I would trade every hymn I've ever written for that. What a beautiful song. I hear it and I always break down in tears, so I can't go listening to it in front of other people. It's marvelous. Oh, it's marvelous. Anyway, so spiritual songs are a little different than hymns. Okay, the relationship with God, but not necessarily relying on scripture. They direct hearts and minds to God based on the emotion of the composer's personal feelings about his relationship with his creator. Okay, I told Burke, you probably don't know it. I put at least one and sometimes several poems into every sermon. Okay, and don't say a word, Burke. Does anybody know where I got that idea from? I was reading a sermon years ago by Spurgeon, Charles Haddon Spurgeon, and he had some poetry in one of his that he just. And I said, what a beautiful thing to do, because it redirects our mind away from the contents of the sermon, which can be tedious, it can be in-depth, it can be whatever it is. The sermon has one type of purpose, but if you stop and you have a poem or a song which is written into the sermon, what a way to redirect temporarily. And I don't know, does anybody get anything out of those? When I do them, you do, okay. Because I just do them because I get something out of doing that.
Rhyming is